Right now at 6, new details in an officer-involved shooting after a man fires into a restaurant.
We have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms looking possible as we roll into the afternoon, but we also have thunderstorms occurring right now. We'll look at all of that coming up.
Plus, the surprise discovery of a mural hidden for decades in the walls of Camp Crowder.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Tuesday, June the 3rd, and we have got some thunderstorms pushing through now. Thankfully, at this point, nothing strong to severe, but a lot of lightning with these storms. And then we have our alert day, and that is for the storms we're expecting this afternoon, which are expected to be strong to severe. So a lot to talk, and this isn't our only severe threat this week.
No.
We got 2 more days with severe threats. And we're going to go over all of it, but let's get your Tuesday started first with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Camera, of course, covered in rain, and as are the streets of Pittsburgh. Some thunderstorms have rolled through Pittsburgh. You've got some more on the way. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin. Starting to get some rain in the city of Joplin as well. And here's, excuse me, a look at the Skywatch storm tracker. So in this zone, again, 152 lightning strikes at the last count, from stretching from Greenwood County back down into portions of southwest Missouri. So let's start though with this activity. So again, here's that stronger storm. It's north of Wichita. It should again just miss us to the northwest, but we have this activity. All of this really flared up within the last hour. So it's pushing through Yates Center right now. In fact, if you look at the latest loop here, watch right to the south and west here, where in the last 10 or 15 minutes we get some additional development and another one south of Fredonia. That's just the indication as to how our storm situation is this morning, how our atmosphere is this morning with these thunderstorms. They stretch down, of course, back into Pittsburgh, Erie, Girard, Parsons, Oswego, Columbus. Now back to the west, a little clearer, but we are still watching little showers trying to get going. Northeast Oklahoma, you're starting to see the bulk of this rain move out of your area. Neosho, you've got a heavier shower on your south side, one now just to the southwest of Pineville, and another one near Grove. And again, Joplin, a little pause and some rain, more moderate rain on the way. Now here's the expectation. This is what we got to break down. This activity is courtesy of strong to severe thunderstorms that took place off to our west overnight and yesterday evening. This will continue to lift off to the northeast, but just look at how this guy just kind of filled in, but it will lift off to the northeast, and by about 8, 9 o'clock this morning, it's gone. It's done. And we get about a 2 or 3 hour break before alert day stuff kicks in, where we've got the severe threat this afternoon. We have an isolated tornado risk across the entire area, and then we have a level 2 out of 5 risk for hail and for wind. Hail is right now for southeast Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and the wind is for all of us because we're expecting a line of storms to very quickly develop this afternoon, and it'll bring a greater wind threat. So we're talking 60, 70 mile an hour winds out there. And as I've mentioned this morning, if you're just joining us, our future track, I think, is about an hour or so slow on storm development. So what you're seeing here by 4 is really going to be much further south and east, I think, by 4. But these thunderstorms will start pushing through. They will very likely become strong to severe very quickly, and they'll bring those threats with them. Future track also later this evening picking up on at least the possibility of maybe a Boeing feature in this line, which if that happens could increase the wind risk to 70, 80 mile an hour winds. And overnight tonight, though, we'll have a few isolated showers, thunderstorms, but this activity after midnight will begin to lose its teeth. Quick reminder, again, flood watches through tomorrow morning for virtually the entire area as well. So remember, turn around, don't drown, pay attention for any flood warnings. Mild this morning as well, 70s, Joplin and Pittsburgh, and the bulk of the area still upper 60s where it's been raining, and where it hasn't been raining so much, still in the low 70s. So again, a very mild start. Thunderstorm chances start resuming by about noon out there. Temperatures still warm, low to mid 80s, and non-thunderstorm winds out of the south gusting upwards of 30. It's a lot going on today. We have additional severe weather chances as we go into Thursday night into Friday morning, and again from Friday into Saturday. And we'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, authorities released the name of a man shot in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation identified the man as 25-year-old Michael Cook. Police say Cook fired into the Mia Bella Italian restaurant from outside, trying to force his way in. Officers arrived quickly and confronted Cook, who opened fire and then ran. Gunfire broke out again near an Arby's, and Cook was shot, taken into custody, and flown to a Tulsa hospital in critical condition. The OSBI says Cook is still hospitalized in Tulsa, receiving treatment. No officers were hurt. One person inside the restaurant had minor injuries from flying glass. Official charges will be determined by the Ottawa County District Attorney's Office. No word on the suspect's motive. Well, Sunday evening at about 6 p.m., a crash occurred north of Joplin at Missouri Highway 43 and Baseline Boulevard. Two vehicles traveling at highway speeds collided as one failed to stop at a stop sign, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. 4 people from Moundsville, Missouri were in a white van that was struck. All 4 were transported to Freeman West in Joplin. The intersection was closed off for about an hour. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, American Legion Post in Miami, Oklahoma is turning pain into education with the new museum expansion. Now, we reported in September that the members of the American Legion Post in Miami were heartbroken to discover flags they set up for 9/11 had been vandalized. Now, the members of the Legion hope this museum expansion helps to remind locals of our military history and the respect earned by those who served. And efforts are underway to save a piece of local military history. A long-lost mural has been unearthed in a building that was once part of Camp Crowder during World War II. The Neosho Arts Council believes the mural was designed and painted by an unknown soldier who was training at the site before they were deployed. The organization says portions of the mural remain just a sketch, as the artist was likely called to action before they finished. The mural has now been carefully removed 8 decades later, with hopes to preserve it for years to come. And a powerful international traveling exhibit has come to Fort Scott, Kansas. The exhibit, Anne Frank, A History of Today, is at the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes this month. Now, through historical photos, powerful stories, and visuals of the actual Anne Frank house, visitors will be immersed in the life of a young girl whose words and resilience have touched millions around the world. The exhibit opened yesterday and will be displayed through June 26 at the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes at 1 South Main Street in Fort Scott. The museum is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is free and all are welcome. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. New charges could be on the way for the suspect that attacked peaceful protesters in Colorado. And we're tracking thunderstorms for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, more charges could be on the way for the Egyptian man suspected of firebombing peaceful marchers in Colorado over the weekend. Now, according to new court documents, the suspect told investigators that he found the march in an online search and that he had been planning his attack for months. He now faces life in prison on more than 40 felony counts. Police now say that at least 12 people were injured in the attack. Naomi Ruckham has more from New York.
A memorial of flowers and flags is growing at the scene of Sunday's horrific fire attack in Boulder.
I feel like it's important to make it beautiful with flowers and show that life will continue even though violence has happened here.
Police say at least a dozen people were injured, some with severe burns, when the suspect, identified as 45-year-old Egyptian national Mohammed Suleiman, threw Molotov cocktails at demonstrators marching peacefully in support of the October 7th Israeli hostages. Witnesses say he yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack.
Do you understand it?
Yes. Yesterday evening, the suspect made his first appearance in court. He is facing multiple felony charges and a federal hate crimes charge.
When he was interviewed about the attack, he said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
According to court documents, the suspect told investigators that he had been planning the attack for a year and that he used Molotov cocktails because he was denied the purchase of a gun because he was not a legal citizen.
The Jewish community is beyond upset.
Councilwoman Tara Weiner knows 4 of the victims, including an 88-year-old Holocaust refugee.
I talked to some of them who could answer the phone. They'll be okay physically.
As the city now works to unite after an attack that shook the Jewish community. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Police say 16 unused Molotov cocktails were found near the scene after the suspect's arrest. He has not yet entered a plea, though he's due back in court on Thursday. And still to come, childhood vaccination rates are dropping as the U.S. faces its largest measles outbreak in years. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, a contractor has recruited a group of young men to help tornado victims after an EF3 tornado hit St. Louis on May 16th. The group has a mission this summer to build at least 100 tiny homes for those who lost everything. Laura Barswowski has the story.
When I drove through these neighborhoods and I realized honestly that 80% of these homes not going to come back up, but you got people that really don't want to leave their homes, and what's the next solution for them?
The solution, tiny homes for tornado victims.
Well, inside this tiny house is about 85 square foot. This one right here, this prototype would be fit for 2 beds. 2 beds, gonna do custom cabinets on top roof, for they have storage and things like that. It's just shelter. Then we have the smaller ones, which is about 55 square foot. It'll be 1 bed, 1 bed, little air conditioning unit, door, just enough for storage, just enough hope.
To get it done, Arion Johnson, known as Protman Johnson Sr., brought teens and others from the community together to build them in the parking lot at Hunter Black Men.
They learning integrity, they learning how to square things up, they learning how to measure. They're learning how to cut, how to frame. Right now we're doing siding.
By the end, these teens will know how to do it all, down to the electric work. Mentor Eric Wilson says they can't do it alone.
This is a direct call out to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, everybody that want to come and donate materials and let us teach these young people how to build these houses.
Committeewoman Dr. Yolanda Yogi Yancey says this mission is the definition of St. Louis that isn't found in the dictionary.
This has simply been phenomenal and amazing to see young people actually learning a tangible skill, transferable skill that will take them for a lifetime. You teach a man to fish, they'll eat all day, and so that's what's taking place on this property today.
Absolutely incredible. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms pushing through this morning. Nothing severe, but definitely bringing a lot of thunder and lightning. We do have an alert day, though, and that is for more thunderstorm development expected this afternoon. Details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:20 now on this Tuesday morning. We're starting with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. As many of you have probably been woken up to, thunderstorms across the area. Now, again, the good news is nothing strong or severe in our area, but we do have a fair amount of lightning. In fact, the storm that's just outside our area, but to the southwest of Emporia there, almost 200 lightning strikes in that cell. We do have thunderstorms, though, that have branched off of that, stretching through Burlington, Yates Center, back toward Iola, Chanute, and eventually they curve back around to the east of Parsons and then head back south through Labette County around Oswego. We've got some new development that's tried to take place down into northeastern Oklahoma, so even just backing this up, we're just watching all of these storms. Joplin, you just had a shower roll through. Pittsburgh, you've still got thunderstorms pushing through. Lamar, light rain for now, some thunderstorms on the way, though, same up in the Nevada area. Now, all of this activity is lifting northeast, and eventually, and you can take a look at how this line here just kind of flared up and is connected as it lifts off to the north and east. This activity will eventually clear out. Looking at about 8-9 o'clock this morning, this will be done. And then it will be new development this afternoon that brings us our alert day and brings us our potential for additional severe weather or severe thunderstorms this afternoon. So we do have an isolated tornado risk across the entire region. The greater concerns still are with large hail, especially into southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma, and then damaging wind gusts across the entire area, because what we're expecting is a cold front with a line of storms that will flare up very quickly. And with those lines of storms, those QLCS or those spin-up tornadoes, they're a possibility. That's why we have that low tornado threat. But the greater concern, again, is going to be with wind. Now, all morning long, this won't update before our morning show is over, unfortunately, but I've been telling you, I believe the future track is about 2 hours behind, or about an hour and a half behind on storm development. So what we're looking at, what you see here at noon, really, this is what we're going to be looking at noon. It says 2, but this is what we're looking at noon, is a line of thunderstorms. Some of these strong to severe are already developing, pushing into southeast Kansas. So Chinook, Fredonia, Yates Center, back toward Eureka. By about, let's back this up even, by about 3-4 o'clock, these storms now continuing to roll through southeast Kansas, which puts them into the Missouri side of things about 5-6 o'clock this evening if this timing holds. We also have future track indicating at least the possibility of a Boeing segment within this line, and if that happens, that's where the wind threat really ramps up. We could see 70-80 mile an hour wind gusts if that happens. There's no guarantee it'll happen. There's no guarantee it'll be right where it's showing on here, but future track's picking up at least on the possibility of maybe some slightly more intense portions of this line. Now, overnight, once we get to about 11 o'clock midnight, we'll have some lingering showers and thunderstorms, but our severe threat drops off significantly. Most of Wednesday, we are mostly cloudy with some isolated storms along and south of I-44. You can see they really keep themselves confined down there. Then we go into our Thursday. Thursday, we're looking at widely scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms. It's going to be overnight Thursday into very early Friday morning that we have yet another severe risk. So again, I know this is for Thursday, but this is really going to be into late Thursday after midnight, very likely heading into early Friday morning. We'll have another round of strong to severe thunderstorms, and that's not the only round that we still have left. So for this morning, again, 8-9 o'clock, these showers and storms that we're getting right now should be out of here. We'll have this break, mid-70s to start, low 80s by 11. Despite the clouds, despite the rain, still very warm. Part of that is because of these south winds gusting to 30, bringing in that warm, moist air. That's going to be what helps fuel these storms this afternoon. We'll eventually make the low to mid-80s. Into the evening, again, thunderstorm chances really begin to ramp up. Strong to severe thunderstorms are possible. And then, as I mentioned, they'll start to kind of fizzle out late this evening, overnight, and start winding down. We'll be back into the low 60s tonight. Now we can talk about our Thursday and Friday storm chances. So Thursday, again, widely scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms out there, but by late Thursday, thunderstorms off to our west will eventually begin to make their way into our area. And you can see this is 5 a.m. Friday. So that's why I'm saying after midnight is when our severe threat is going to start to ramp up into early Friday morning. We'll have scattered showers, storms throughout the day Friday. In fact, into the Friday afternoon, another round of strong, potentially severe thunderstorms is in place, and we'll have that continue into our Saturday. So here's Friday's risk. This is Friday afternoon into Friday evening, where we have this possible risk, because there's only those two categories this far out. By Saturday, the threat is just immediately to our south, but it's close enough that we could get stronger storms, strong to low-grade severe storms in the southern half of our areas. We roll into Saturday, so a very busy week indeed. Now tomorrow we're a little cooler, low 70s, but then it doesn't take us long to start warming back up. Upper 70s, low 80s, thunderstorm chances. So again, our severe threat today with our alert day, and then again possibly into early Friday morning, and then Friday afternoon possibly lingering into early Saturday as well. Next week the rain stops and then the heat shows up. We start climbing upper 80s, near 90 by next week. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the number of kids getting their measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines is dropping. A study by Johns Hopkins University found vaccination rates have dropped 2% since the pandemic to 91%. Now, that may not sound like much, but it gets us further away from the 95% vaccination rate required for herd immunity. Now, currently, the U.S. is in the midst of its largest measles outbreak in years. 2 unvaccinated children have died. Well, marijuana use among elderly adults has reached a new high. Research by New York University shows 7% of adults 65 and older used marijuana within the past month. Most Americans live in states where marijuana is legal, either for medicinal or recreational purposes. The study also found marijuana use is rising among wealthier college-age individuals. And your morning cup of coffee could boost your brain health. A study by Harvard found Women who drink coffee regularly in midlife were more likely to have signs of healthy aging, including having no cognitive or memory issues and being free of major chronic diseases. The study found that women who drank non-caffeinated coffee or tea did not get the same health benefits. That's a look at Health Watch this morning. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, the Joplin City Council takes aim at allowing bow hunting for deer within city limits.
And we've got ourselves thunderstorm chances. We have an alert day today for severe thunderstorms this afternoon. We have thunderstorms ongoing right now. We're going to look at all of that coming up.
Plus, the community heads out to Downstream Casino to make a record-setting donation to fight cancer.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News at 6:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday. I said one. See,
I just
every
really
so often,
liked his.
It was a good. I was deer hunting in the studio.
Oh, good.
I thought I saw one. There
Perfect
wasn't one.
place.
Yeah, good spot for it. A good place for deer. But we do have, it's good to still have some humor, still have some fun, because we have a pretty serious day ahead of us in terms of severe weather potential. That's why we have an alert day today. Now, our thunderstorms this morning have been loud, and they've been dropping quite a bit of rainfall, but they've not been strong or severe, believe it or not. But this afternoon, that could change. Let's start with that look outside. Downtown Pittsburgh, of course, we've had the rain. You can see it's fairly obvious on the camera there. We've got rain on the Joplin side now, too. You can see range line, MoDOT camera at 20th and range line, a bit on the wet side. So here's a look at those thunderstorms. So we've had some activity fill in across parts of southeast Kansas. From Emporia back towards Chanute, we've had new development behind that, and it stretches all the way down to near Oswego here. With where that activity's filled in. So up around Burlington, north of Eureka, Yates Center, you are in like a donut hole of thunderstorm activity, but you've got more on the way. Iola as well, stretching back to the south and east, Chanute, Erie, Girard, Pittsburgh, Oswego. These storms here, very likely as they lift northeast, are going to end up impacting at least through Pittsburgh and into Girard. And if they hold, they'll continue, of course, onto the Missouri side, eventually, let's say, north of Jasper, Lamar, Sheldon, Nevada, Fort Scott. We've got that activity. We've got some heavier rain, but no lightning activity. There's no cloud-to-ground lightning activity between Chautauqua and Baxter Springs there into Cherokee County. We have some heavier showers on the west side of Newton County, just outside, in between, really, Seneca and Neosho. And we got this guy that is just north of Grove here as well, near Grand Lake. No lightning being detected with that one either, but all of this activity continuing to lift off to the north and east. You can watch very quickly how all of this just fills in and develops very quickly. But again, it's lifting off to the north and east, but it is a hint as to the environment that we do have in place for thunderstorms later today. And our reason for the alert day is this. This is for this afternoon. We do have an isolated tornado risk, or at least a low tornado risk. But then we have a level 2 out of 5 for wind and hail risks. Hail risks right now into southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and that is with any storms that develop initially. What we're expecting is eventually a transition to a line of storms, and it should happen quickly, but any storms ahead of that line that are by themselves for a moment might be able to generate some large hail, and then wind risk for everybody with this expected line of storms. Now, Future Track, again, is running a bit behind here, I believe, on terms of storm timing, so take this. This is really going to be about 2 o'clock, not 4. These thunderstorms start filling in, and as they continue to push off to the south and east, Future Track also picking up on at least the possibility of a bowing segment. And if we got that, then within a bowing segment, we could see winds 70, 80 miles an hour if that happens. But Future Track just indicating that these storms could be fairly intense tonight, or well, this afternoon, really. All right, flood watches also all the way until tomorrow morning. For the bulk of the area, temperatures where it's raining are starting to fall back a little. 69 Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh. Where it's been raining, temperatures have cooled back into the upper 60s. Where it has not been raining yet, you're still into the low 70s. And even though the rain cloud cover today, it's still going to warm up, low to mid 80s. The rain should stop by 8, 9 at the latest. And then again, it starts resuming about noon. around, say, Yates Center, Fredonia, and points northwest there, and will spread across the area with strong to severe thunderstorms possible through the afternoon and evening hours. Now, these storms will eventually weaken overnight, and then we have additional severe threats later this week. Details on all of that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Well, deer in Joplin could soon be in the crosshairs, quite literally. The Joplin City Council considers allowing regulated bow hunting within city limits to help curb the growing number of deer vehicle collisions. Now, the city does not currently have measures in place to control the urban deer population. The new ordinance would permit archery hunting on private properties of at least 1 acre, with hunters required to be 16 or older, register with the city, and follow strict safety rules. Also, the hunter would have the right of retrieval in the case of a wounded deer running onto a neighbor's property. Now, last night, the minimum required 5 council members approved the first reading. The bow hunting ordinance now moves to second and third readings. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. Players also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free, the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Well, the Mercy Foundation's Stick It to Cancer fundraising banquet brought in a record amount of donations Saturday night, close to $97,000 to benefit Joplin's Mercy Cancer Center. Our very own Dow Quick, as you can see there, was honored to MC the event for the 3rd consecutive year, this time at Downstream Casino. The overall goal of the year-long campaign is $750,000, and after this weekend's fundraiser, they've collected $700,000 so far. The money will be used to purchase equipment to battle lung cancer. The Stick It to Cancer event included an auction, recognition of cancer patients and healthcare workers, food donated and prepared by a number of area restaurants, and entertainment. Our congratulations and thanks to everyone who made the event such a success. More than 160 golfers were on the green yesterday in Joplin. The Children's Miracle Network held its annual Tournament of Miracle Golf Scramble. Money raised goes to help the CMN help local kids in need. The Vernon County Republican Central Committee hosted a special community cookout to thank law enforcement and other responders who helped after the April 2nd tornado. Community members gathered at the courthouse in Nevada yesterday evening to show their appreciation and share a meal with the officers who stepped up during the crisis. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Walt Disney Company is set to start laying off workers across multiple departments. Plus, Dave's Hot Chicken and Rourke Capital have reached a $1 billion deal. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, Campbell says its sales were boosted last quarter because more Americans are cooking at home. The company said its broth saw a 15% jump, while the company's Rao's pasta sauces also rose 2%. Though Campbell's snacks offerings like goldfish crackers and Cape Cod chips slid 4% last quarter. Well, the Walt Disney Company is laying off hundreds of workers across multiple units, including film, television, and finance. The company confirmed to CBS News that the job cuts are to help save costs, writing in a statement, "We continue to evaluate ways to efficiently manage our businesses while fueling the state-of-the-art creativity and innovation that customers value and expect from Disney." The company was not specific about the exact number of employees impacted by the layoffs. And a scorching deal for Dave's Hot Chicken. The company says it has been acquired by the private equity firm Rourke Capital in a deal worth $1 billion. Rourke Capital's holdings also include Auntie Anne's, Subway, and Dunkin'. Dave's Hot Chicken was founded in Los Angeles as a pop-up back in 2017 and plans to have 400 restaurants around the world by the end of the year. The company says its leadership team will remain. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got showers and thunderstorms this morning, making for a soggy commute. And then we've got an alert day today for storms expected this afternoon. We'll break down all those details for you when we come back. All right, time for some Tuesday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to start with Piper Maggie in Galena, celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday.
And a happy 14th birthday to Kason Botts in Moran.
And in Franklin, Jackson Schaub celebrating birthday number 14 today. Happy birthday.
And in Galena, a happy 16th birthday to Josie Stewart.
And we have Jeremiah Martinez celebrating birthday number 20 in Chanute with love from the family.
And a happy 31st birthday to Marina Kirkpatrick in Walnut.
And we have Brittany Murphy celebrating birthday number 38. Says happy birthday from Ryan, Roman, Ryder, Renly, Raylan, and the rest of your family.
And happy 43rd birthday to Dana Meadows in Liberal. It says we love you from Mima, Gary, and Leanne.
And in Uniontown, Teresa Martin celebrating birthday number 70. She doesn't look a day over 4. Very happy birthday to you, Teresa.
And happy 13th anniversary to Robin and James Dorns in Riverton.
And another anniversary in Nevada, TJ and Trisha Pike celebrating number 14. Happy anniversary.
And another anniversary today over in Parsons. Happy 25th anniversary to Dale and Arona Bogner.
All right, a very big day for anniversaries because we've got more. Matt and Shirley Kramer celebrating their 25th in Frontenac. Happy anniversary to the Kramers.
And in Nevada, happy 36th anniversary to Tandy and Carmen Pike.
And one more anniversary here. No, actually, that's a lie. We have some additional ones. We got LD and Christine Curran celebrating their 72nd year of wedded bliss in Altamont. A very happy anniversary to the Currans.
And one of our news photographers here at KOAM celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to Gabe Hansen.
Gabe used to be here on our morning show. You probably recognize the names. I don't know how many times he just broke things. I'm kidding. Gabe never broke anything, but it was a lot of fun to have on the morning show. Makes a great addition to our news photographer team. Happy birthday to you, Gabe. And our list continues. This is why I said I was lying, because we have more anniversaries. Milo and Janice Kellerman celebrating their 52nd today. Happy anniversary.
And a happy 63rd anniversary over in Scammon to Kenny and Marilyn White.
Must have been something special about June the 3rd that I don't know about. I'm not in
on.
Well,
June's the wedding month, so I'm sure we'll be in store for a lot of anniversaries.
I didn't know that at all. See, I'm learning something new every day. And last, but certainly not least, a very happy birthday to Chad Eddington. What a fantastic list of birthdays and anniversaries this morning. And if you would like to participate and celebrate with us, Elise has information you need.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@komnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages, all the details of your celebration, and to, of course, meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely. All right. We have an alert day today. That is for strong to severe thunderstorms expected this afternoon. But we have been dealing with some thunderstorms. Nothing strong, nothing severe, believe it or not. But a lot of heavy rain and quite a bit of lightning. In fact, just doing a count only into as much of our immediate area as I can grab here. Let's see. So that makes for 97 lightning strikes, and earlier that complex that you see up there by Emporia earlier had about 200 lightning strikes. It's definitely come down a bit, but still very electrical storms this morning. So again, do be cautious heading out. Watch out for that lightning. The storm, of course, does not need to be strong or severe for that lightning to be dangerous and deadly, so make sure you are playing it safe. So we're going to take a quick look at the showers and storms that we've got. So Burlington, Yates Center, Iola, Chanute, getting in on it. Garnett, you are up next, as will be Mound City. Fort Scott, you've got some moderate rain, but you've got a heavier thunderstorm back to your southwest around Hepler, stretching just on the north side of Erie. Girard, you are up next for another round of shower and thunderstorm activity. McCune, you are in the thick of it. Columbus, you are as well. That means, of course, we here at the station we'll be in the thick of it here before too much longer. Got some light showers around the Joplin metro area, back into Barton County. Some light to moderate showers along 43 from Liberal back down south. And then into Vernon County, again, another round of just some moderate rain. But you do have those thunderstorms to your south and west that'll be moving in before too much longer. We'll head back down the south. A few isolated showers around Seneca, back toward northern Newton County. Northeast Oklahoma, you're finally beginning to dry out. And all of us will eventually begin to dry out, at least temporarily, before we see our thunderstorm chances ramp up by this afternoon. So here's where we stand. We have, just look at how this all right here from this complex near Emporia just filled in across the area. All of it still lifting to the north and east. No new development taking place behind it. This will clear out. And I still think by about 8, 9 o'clock, we'll be done with storms briefly before we roll into the afternoon and we see another round of thunderstorms that could be strong to severe. So we have an isolated tornado risk. We also have a level 2 out of 5 risk for hail and wind across the area. So let's break this down on these risks real quick for you. The isolated tornado risk is there because what we're expecting is as this cold front approaches, a line of storms will develop along it. In that line, you get those QLCS tornadoes or the spin-ups, the little spin-up tornadoes that you can get embedded in a line. That's a possibility. That's why this risk is here primarily. The hail risk is here because any storms that develop ahead of the front before they join that line could potentially get strong enough to produce some large hail. The wind risk is here because with a line of storms, damaging wind gusts traditionally the main risk with those lines, and that's what the expectation is. So we're talking 60, 70 mile an hour winds as we head into the afternoon and evening. Again, anybody, maybe you're just tuning in or you just finished the coffee and you're looking over at the television, I want to emphasize right now, I think our future track in terms of storm timing, I'm pretty sure it's accurate with the storms. Looking at the data, it's accurate, but it's about an hour or so behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to kick this up to 2. This will actually be about noon. We could, again, get a couple of isolated storms ahead of this activity. That could be those hail producers. They will get this line along this front. So we're now by noon. Keep in mind about noon, maybe noon 30. Yates Center, Fredonia, Chanute, back into parts of Elk, Chautauqua counties and Greenwood counties, strong to severe thunderstorms. This line continues to push off to the east, and now we're talking maybe 3:30 or 4. Here's that line from Fort Scott, Parsons, Coffeyville down toward Bartlesville, and you can see the wind shift line with that front pushing through and bringing in these storms on the backside. Future track also hinting at the possibility of a Boeing feature. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be right here. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll actually see it, but it's been hinting at this all morning, which could indicate the possibility that somewhere along that line, if we do get a bow on there, we could see winds 70, 80 miles an hour. The severe threat will continue through about 10, 11 o'clock at the latest. Then we're dealing with scattered thunderstorms on the backside overnight, and by tomorrow, we're mostly cloudy with some isolated showers and storms south of I-44, and that'll be where they'll remain confined. No severe threat with that activity. And then we see the thunderstorms return as we go into Thursday. They'll still be widely scattered for Thursday. Now, I know this is for Thursday, but this is really going to be Thursday night into early Friday morning, very likely after midnight, honestly, heading into Friday, where we'll have another round of strong to severe thunderstorms. So again, through the morning, storms should wrap up 8, 9 o'clock this morning, mid-70s to start. We'll be in low 80s by this afternoon. I wanted to take a moment to talk about those storms. So what we're expecting again Thursday, isolated to widely scattered shower storms. No severe weather expected during the day, it looks like. But what we're going to see is thunderstorms develop out to our west by late Thursday, and they'll get here again probably after midnight heading into Friday morning, and some of those could be strong to severe. On top of that, Friday afternoon, another severe risk for parts of our area as well out there. And so that also, it's a little further to our south, but we're right here. So some strong low-grade severe thunderstorms in our southern counties will be possible on Saturday as well. So a very busy week ahead of us and a lot to keep an eye on. We'll have another look at your forecast news you need to know in just a moment, and we switch over to Fox 14. If you stay with us streaming on KOAM+, we're going to tell you about New York school kids that are skipping playtime in order to make new friends.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities released the name of a man shot in an officer-involved shooting over the weekend. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation identified the man as 25-year-old Michael Cook. Now, Cook was shot near an Arby's before being taken into custody and flown to a Tulsa hospital in critical condition. No word on Cook's motive. Well, Sunday evening at about 6 p.m., a crash occurred north of Joplin at Missouri Highway 43 and Baseline Boulevard. Two vehicles traveling at highway speeds collided as one failed to stop at a stop sign, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. 4 people in a van that was struck were transported to Freeman West. Well, deer in Joplin could soon be in the crosshairs, quite literally. The Joplin City Council is considering allowing regulated bow hunting within city limits to help curb the growing number of deer vehicle collisions. The city does not currently have measures in place. The bow hunting ordinance now moves to second and third readings. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we have an alert day today. Strong to severe thunderstorms expected as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Breezy non-thunderstorm winds gusting to 30 out of the south. Still warm, low to mid 80s. Shower storms still strong to severe through the evening. They'll begin to weaken overnight, become much more scattered, falling back into the low 60s. Still breezy though. Couple isolated storms tomorrow. Some isolated to widely scattered storms Thursday. And then we'll see additional strong to severe thunderstorms early Friday and again Friday afternoon, possibly leading into Saturday as well. So again, a lot to keep an eye on this week.
Absolutely. And coming up today at noon, we're making farm stand potato salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, how government cutbacks could impact life-saving information with hurricane season getting underway.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle with the SEK Humane Society joins us in the studio with the furry friend.
And Charlene Patton also join us in the studio with another incredibly healthy and good for you recipe. However, that is going to wrap it up for us for now. Of course, any severe weather pops up between now and noon, we'll be right here, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning at 5.
And we'll see you today at noon.